Let's just give them a warm welcome.
First of all, I just want to thank, is it Mylene?
Mylene.
Yeah, for inviting us, myself, to come over. What I'd like to do today is tell you a little bit about what the Academic Advising and Career Center does, what services we offer. And then I have a job search workshop that I tailored just for you, for gerontology students. And so it'll be kind of neat to go through it. If you have questions as we go through, feel free to ask. I think I'll go probably in for about 50 minutes. Is that all right?
Sure.
I think I have quite a bit to cover. So. The Academic Advising and Career Center is located over in Lassen Hall in room 1013. Have any of you been there already? Cool. We're on the first floor, right to the left of the Student Services Counter as you walk into the first floor, room 1013. And the office is really neat because we're combined with Academic Advising. We're under one director. And so when you come into the office, there's a front desk and you kind of check in there. And if you ever have questions about university policies and procedures, or you want to sit down with someone and talk about GE, as well as some expressed interest majors, if you were going to change your major, then you could check in on the academic advising side and you can meet with an academic advisor. On the Career Center side, we help students all the way from choosing and changing your major, to choosing and changing your career path, to, if you know your major already, identifying all the different places in the world of work where you might apply for work. So a lot of times students know, but they're just not exactly sure what are all the possibilities, or they have a few possibilities, but they'd sure like some additional ones. So we totally can help you with that. And then if you need help with experience, volunteer or internships or part-time jobs or eventually full-time career positions, that's what we do too. Once in a while when you're going through this career planning process and there's bumps in the road that happen, like you're heading in one direction and life changes and then you have to make a detour, right? Or a little way around it. You need some help kind of navigating. That's what we specialize in. So helping you through the process of helping you get through school, but then also helping you navigate all the options after that. Some of you may consider going to graduate school, and we do advising for grad school. Like right now, I'm helping someone on their personal statement for pharmacy school, and another one for med school. But we need graduate program. Of course, your graduate program, if you decide to do that, may or may not relate to gerontology, and that's okay. And then we help students everything that has to do with your job search. So resumes and cover letters and interviewing techniques and negotiating salary, and negotiating any other. When you get a job offer, it's expected that you negotiate or you try to negotiate your salary as a recent graduate. So, we can help you with that, navigate that whole negotiation process. We also do practice for interview sessions where we role play with you one-on-one, and we tailor the interview questions to the job you're applying for. And we're pretty good at that because last semester we had somebody do a couple practices, and then they went to the actual interview, and then they came back and they said, I can't believe it, but they asked me about 80% of the questions you asked in the practice, they asked me in the interview. So we're pretty good at generating questions. So if you have an interest in speaking with professionals in the field to learn more about what they do, we can help you. I mean, we don't do it for you, but we teach you how to set those up. Those are like job shadowing or informational interviews with confidentiality, regular rules and regulations. It's hard to do it in the helping professions where you shadow somebody, but oftentimes you can do an informational interview where you just sit out there. Have any of you done that?
Sure.
It's It's really neat. They're called, I don't use the word informational interviews when I call them, but I just say I'm a student at Sac State, you know, I'm in such and such a major, and I'm exploring career options in such and such a field, and I'm really, it'd be so neat to be able to meet with someone who's in the field. Hi there. And welcome. So those informational interviews are nice. It's kind of turning the tables with it. You're interviewing them. And oftentimes you can get really good tips and ideas and suggestions. In the Career Center we have, I just had someone yesterday, 2 people in fact, at the same time interview me about what a career counselor does. Because they're thinking about going into the profession. Hi there. Hi, hello. So that's everything we do in the center. Any questions about that? The one thing I wanted to emphasize, particularly for, I mean, there's certain majors like gerontology, for example. Sometimes you may have an idea of what you want to do with it, but you'd like to know what are some additional areas. You know, where else can someone work with a degree in my field? So that's important if you want to expand the options, just so you can make decisions at that point. If you're good with the ideas you already know about and you want to kind of, that's your direction you're pursuing that, that's totally fine. If you're not as clear and you want help with identifying, we can totally help with that. So what I did is I photocopied a PowerPoint that presentation I'm going to use today, but to save paper, what I did is I took, I think there's, I don't know, 20 or 19 some job search strategies, and I just copied that portion of the PowerPoint. So there's a bunch of slides at the beginning that aren't on yours, but you know, don't panic. I'll send it to Eileen, and then she can get it to you, the full PowerPoint, the PDF of it. And then you can also take notes on the beginning slides if you want, but keep in mind you'll get the whole thing. So when we talk about job search, are any of you like looking for an internship or a part-time job or right now? How many, do we have any seniors in? The little green card that I passed out, it is our job posting service, online job posting service. It's called Hornet Career Connection. But what's kind of neat about it, it's Sacramento area employers that want to hire Sac State students. And there's over 8,000 employers that post positions there. And right now there's over 500 positions that are available for students. There's like so many jobs on there, you can't believe it. And we get like 10 to 20 new jobs every single day. That's how many. And so your SacLink ID is the username, and then the password is Sacramento lowercase. And then you can change, the system will send you a new password, then you can change it. All right, so we're going to go through this fancy show here. And if you have questions, what I'm going to do is, and the slides are just going to be prompts for points I want to make. And so this slide, it's just a reminder to pay attention to your preferences for things and what you enjoy doing, like the skills you enjoy doing, maybe what some of your values are, personal and work values, your personality, family and cultural considerations, maybe even other considerations, like could be health or financial or geographic location. But the idea is to pick a job in a work environment that you're going to totally love. It's almost not going to even be like work because you're going to like it so much. That's ideal. if 75%, 70 to 75% of everyone in the United States that's currently has a job, they don't like their job. That's pretty high. So we don't want, in career counseling, we don't want you to be in that percentage. We want you to be in the percentage that loves what you do. So this is just a reminder, if you need help kind of reminding yourself or identifying things that are important to you, we call that self-exploration, and we have all kinds of career assessments and different tools to help you identify that. One of the areas in before job search is like, how do I use my degree? And so there's 5 major tracks that you can use your major, how you can use your major, actually any major, but let's take gerontology. So one of the tracks is you use your degree as a liberal arts degree. And what that means is there's probably thousands, say hundreds of occupations in the world of work. They're professional level, right? But in order to get into them, you have to have a degree. So do any of you know someone that's in a job that probably required a degree to do it, but the degree doesn't relate to what their training is in, what their degree is in? Anybody? Know that? Some of you know that, right? Most of the time we all know somebody like that. So that's what liberal arts jobs, and they cross all different fields. So if I majored in gerontology, obviously I'm not restricted just to gerontology, human service related jobs. I could do these liberal arts jobs. And sometimes there's a nice intersection where there's a relationship between what you've studied and what these liberal arts jobs. And I call those jobs that are indirectly related to your major. And that's the second track. Okay, using it as a liberal arts degree, the second track is things directly related to your major, which many of you will want to do, but then indirectly. So as an example, let's say you got a job with an insurance company as a case manager in a health services insurance company, but you've had lots of experience with health terms and case management and issues related to aging and seniors and all that, and they love that. And so they wanted to hire you, but you'd get a job at an insurance company as opposed to a nonprofit. Does that make sense? So that's kind of cool. So things directly or indirectly related to your major, that's the second one. The third track is graduate school. How many, do any of you know at this time that you may be interested in grad school at one time? Okay, that's kind of cool. Do you mind sharing, do you know which grad program you might like to do?
Yeah, I was looking at accelerated bachelor's in science program
Oh yeah.
or entry-level master's.
Oh, in what subject?
Nursing.
Oh, in nursing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Anybody else? Oh, not sure.
Occupational therapy.
Oh yeah, that's nice. So this is really good. You have a diversity of them. I just had, talking about Jersey, I just had a biology student that got their degree in biology, but now they're at Foothill College going through their ultrasound technician program. But their prereqs they got as a bio student, and their degree is going to help them later when they do like supervisor and manager positions, but they wanted to do work in healthcare, but they didn't want to do nursing or be a doctor, so they chose ultrasound. Anyway, but there's lots of possibilities. Okay. So this is actually about half the list, but well, I'm going to show you how you can go about, how do I find all the different areas related to gerontology in the world of work? So I just put this is just like so partial, and some of these require additional training. Like if I'm going to be a social worker in the field where I'm working with seniors, for example, I need a master's degree in social work. But my gerontology undergrad is fine, because most graduate programs in counseling require any bachelor's, not just a specific. So, thank you. So this is just, you can look at this on your own in more detail. I'm going to show you how to find these in a minute. This is a funny slide. I had second thoughts about putting this one in here, only because it focuses on the least effective strategies for getting a job. But what's funny is a lot of us do these, you know. I mean, they're just things we do, right? So applying for one job at a time, you can't believe how many students apply for a job and then they wait. And they keep waiting and waiting and waiting. They don't do anything more because they haven't heard, you know, that's what they tell us. Right? Or they apply for a job and they just submit a resume and not a cover letter. Or they have their resume, they use the same resume and or cover letter for all the jobs they apply for, as opposed to tailoring it to a specific job, each specific job. Wearing casual or business casual clothing to an interview versus a suit. Having poor grammar or spelling errors or texting language in a cover letter versus proper English. So, I mean, a lot of times we do these things. You want to remember in your job search that any person that you come in contact with, you're being evaluated. In the world of work, you're being evaluated all the time. And when you don't think you're being evaluated, you'll be surprised that you do, because that person knows this person, who's the HR person in the agency that you end up applying to. Right? And then you call the agency and you have some questions before you go to the interview, and you talk with the support staff in the agency, and you're just having a bad day, and so you're a little grumpy on it. You can't do that, right? Because they know everybody in the agency. Most people in the human services, they're kind souls anyway, so they don't do that.
Even in the parking lot, you guys gotta be careful in what you do.
Yeah.
Because, trust me, there's times where my bosses at the time were hiring, and I bumped into someone in the parking lot, and it wasn't a pleasant incident. And guess what? Because I worked with people in hiring, they asked me, so do you know about, interacting with these people? And I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's
So
good.
you have to be careful of that too. People don't think, like, especially if you're on your phone and talking to someone outside before you interview, oh no, you don't do that.
Right, that's
You gotta be
good.
careful.
Yeah, thank you. So, this is, so I apologize for this little part. Let me see, I might reduce this slide a little bit just so you can see it. Yeah, it's not very good. But there's some internet search strategies right here. You know what's funny? This red dot doesn't work on the screen. Isn't that weird? Anyway, these are internet search strategies, and they have to do like, see the one that says, see where it says Human Services, in quotes, California, in URL, careers. Have you seen that in URL before? So whatever word that is after the in URL, and there's no space after the colon, it tells Google in the URL address of every single website that comes up on your search, the word careers has to be in the URL address. So what's kind of neat is these are, if I did gerontology in URL careers, careers, every website that comes up is going to give you all the different career options for gerontology students. It's like really cool. Or you do the one, see where it says in title, and it says gerontology careers like that. That tells Google in the blue title of every single website, the word gerontology careers has to appear. So it's like the best. It saves you like so much time. So these are just a few strategies so that you can begin to get the career options in the field. And you'll get all kinds of job titles. Then you go into YouTube and you type all the different job titles. You just go into YouTube and you say, a day in the life of a, and you put the job title. And there's thousands of professionals that have made videos all about what they do, and you can see the work environment and hear directly from them. That's like really good. I usually get a standing ovation about this point, but it's okay. Just kidding. Okay, so these next few slides, these are some job search tips, kind of things to think about. So I won't go through each one, I would just want to highlight a few. So having a professional email and voicemail message. So if all of you were being considered as a finalist for a job right now, and I'm the employer, and I'm going to call you and I'm going to schedule your next interview, right? And I'm going to listen, I'm going to call and you don't pick up your phone, and I get to listen to your phone message that you have right now. Are you going to be okay with that? That's good, that's good. Now if you're not, then you have to change it. And it includes those ringtones that drive me crazy. But you know the ones that say, you know, wait just a little bit, enjoy this music, we're going to track down the person you're calling, right? Well, I had a graduate intern working for me a number of years ago. And if you took the middle of a song, like the lyrics from the middle of the song that you wouldn't want anybody to hear, well, that's what I heard. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're looking for a job, you cannot have that. So, but she just did it. She just picked her favorite song.
What if you don't have a voicemail?
Well, it's important to,
Take that into consideration too, or?
yeah, if you don't have one, that's not good either.
So it's you.
Yeah, if you use the automatic voicemail message, that's not so good unless you're able to put your name in there. So ideally, if you create it yourself and you listen to it and it sounds professional, it's loud enough, then that's good. But if the automatic one is second, at least you have one. But then having one that's, you know, where you hear partying in the background of your voicemail, that's not. And then your email, if your email's I love to party at csus.edu, that's not good enough. So you just want to make an alias or create a new account. The other thing is practicing your interview skills. The Career Center, we will do practice for interview sessions. Now we have drop-ins Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, so you can just, you don't need an appointment to get started. And then after you've done a drop-in, some students just do tons of different drop-ins all the time. And then some students want to do a follow-up appointment where you meet with this individual in our offices, and those are hour-long appointments. Okay. Actually, I don't know. I think I might have forgot to put the dress slides on. I'll mention professional, yes.
I had a question about that last slide. Can you describe the 30-second commercial?
Yeah, that's a good question. So each of you, it's good practice to, it's called an elevator speech or a 30-second commercial. So what it is, if you go on YouTube and type those in, there's all kinds of examples, including some humorous ones. But what it is let's say you go to a professional association meeting or a local group, or you go to a career fair or whatever, and you're going to introduce yourself to someone. You have to know what you're going to say. Even if if you meet an employer for an interview, it's going to be a little different. Your 30-second commercial will turn into an hour commercial or longer, or shorter sometimes, because you have to answer questions. But the 30-second commercial is basically your name and who you are, what's going on for you right now, what's your degree and where you're graduating from, what your interest area is, especially relating it to the population that you're talking to. And it's just a short 20 to 30 second, like this is going on. Sometimes it's nice to bring in things about them. And the reason I'm here today is, so you want to practice that. So it's a great question. This one says purchase job search business cards. It's kind of optional, but if you wanted a business card just with your name and phone number and email, and maybe at the bottom it said, you know, your degree and maybe some areas that you're interested in, you know? And then if you're gonna be networking with people or doing informational interviews or connecting with employers, then you'll have a card. And then they'll give you their card and you have your card, and it's kind of your job search business cards. These right here, these are from a book called Getting from College to Career, and it's by Lindsay Pollock. And I've been doing this for years, but it's the best job search, best job search guide for college students who are transitioning from college into their first career. It's like, and she updated it in 2012, and it's pretty good. It's good. She does a 2-hour-long webinars online on how to use LinkedIn. Do any of you have a LinkedIn account? Yes. So LinkedIn is like amazing, and you can, like, it has this thing called LinkedIn Alumni, and you can say, I would like to find all the gerontology graduates from Sac State in the last 5 years that are working for the state of California in the areas of this, this, and this. And then everybody will come up. It's amazing. It's cool. But she does a webinar on everything from A to Z on how to use LinkedIn. So if you do a search on LinkedIn webinar, Lindsay Pollock, then it's the first one that comes up. It's really good. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through, each of these are a different job search strategy. Some of them you've used before, some may be new. Okay. So, are you with me? That's cool. All right. So this one, every industry has specialized job posting websites. There's general ones like Monster and Career Builder, etc. But in some fields, most of the companies advertise on specialized ones. And I looked for gerontology. Does anybody know if there is one for gerontology? Do you know? I couldn't find one yesterday, when I was looking. So, but there are some that are kind of close. So up here on Idealist and Opportunity Knox and socialservice.com, all of those are counseling and counseling related and program coordination jobs in nonprofit organizations. They're like really good. The social service one and Opportunity Knox, there's actually quite a few jobs. And in Idealist, it has jobs and volunteer and internships. And they're international and local. But there's about 45 jobs on Idealist in Sacramento. So it's not bad. You always have to look at that number. So just remember these kind of specialized websites as opposed to the general ones for job lists. Okay, the second one is, we talked about LinkedIn a little bit. Another cool thing about LinkedIn is that it has job postings, actually quite a few. And so there's many jobs on it. And 2 new professionals join LinkedIn every second. That's how frequently people sign up. Hi there. The other cool thing about LinkedIn that you can do is you can go in, and when you look at people's profiles, of course, it's just looking at their resumes. But you can see where they've worked and the positions they've held and kind of how they got there and what their career path is. So that's pretty good to be able to do that.